Hi guys, there it is, the Gold Coast Marathon, the bling. Thanks for joining me on this video where I'm going to go through my full race recap, the highs, the lows, the 26-minute Boston qualifier, the shoes I wore, what's happening now in my running journey, is the sub-3 attempt still alive? I'm going to go through all those things, probably a bit more, so stick around to the end of the video guys. Let's get into the Gold Coast Marathon, my race recap. By now you've probably saw the raw race vlog that I did in the last video guys, where 3:08:43. Is it possible to be disappointed, proud, pleased and happy all from the one event? That's the whole range of emotions I felt from the Gold Coast Marathon. I was bitterly disappointed that my body failed me, but to have come back after 5 years away from racing the marathon for a whole range of things I've been through here on the channel many times before. So proud to have crossed that finish line, happy to have finished with a smile on my face, and pleased to have run a 26-minute Boston qualifier. If you watched the race vlog video guys, the last video here on the channel, you know I had some hip issues in the Gold Coast Marathon. Really struggling through the hips, just tied right up. I think I know why that has happened. In previous marathons where I've had a crack at a time, I've taken days off work leading up to the marathon, so I'm well rested, but this time around circumstances just didn't allow me to take time off from work, so I really felt that the whole weekend was rushed. Even at Expo we rushed through, got our bib collection on the Saturday afternoon. We did stay down there at the Gold Coast, so I was working remotely, I was sitting at a different desk, I was sitting in a different chair, and I just think the different setup to how I was working at the computer just affected me in the hips. Now I did get up, I moved around and I stretched and did everything while I was working. I think that's where the problem started. Also, it was a late night finish for my work on the Saturday. I think I was in bed at 11, I was awake at 3:30 in the morning, not enough sleep on marathon race eve, and I think that just sort of contributed to race day. Also, I really do believe that my maintenance and stretching leading up to the marathon was nowhere near as good as it should have been. Lots of lessons to be learnt there. Look, I've run almost 20 marathons now, and each marathon I'm learning more and I'm still making mistakes. So it's really what I take from those mistakes and make sure that I rectify them and that doesn't happen again in the future. I've got a lot to work on there between now and my next marathon at the Melbourne Marathon in October. Now I said that the whole weekend was rushed, and even on race morning I got caught in a toilet line. I had to rush back after going to the toilet. I panicked a little bit because I couldn't find Trish with my bag. It took me a couple of minutes to find her, and then I got changed and I was running to the start line. I'm running late, got caught in a toilet lineup. 10 minutes till the start. By the time I got to the start line, the corral was packed, it was jammed in, and I wasn't able to get to the starting point where I really wanted to start. Now, if you have been following the channel and my journey to the Gold Coast Marathon, you know I had COVID, you know it interrupted my preparation, and I did say that the sub-3 attempt had been abandoned. And look, in the back of my mind, I knew I wasn't going to run sub-3. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to test myself to see just how the body was and how far I could actually get running at that 4:15 per kilometre pace, the 3-hour marathon pace. So my pre-race plan, and I'd sort of kept this to myself, I wanted to just tack onto the back of the 3-hour pacing group. But because I had the toilet issue and I was late to get into the corral, it just didn't happen. I was way back from where I wanted to be, and when the gun went off, the 3-hour pacing balloon just disappeared up the road. And by the time I got across the start line, the pacing group was a good 80 to 100 metres up the road. This is another mistake that I made. Instead of going with my pre-race plan, 4:15s, 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 just tick them off. I wouldn't say that I panicked. I got impatient. I wanted to get to the back of that 3-hour pacing group, and I wouldn't say I pushed, but I went a little bit quicker than what I really should have. And I did catch the balloons at about 8, 10, 11k, but I'd run some 4.0s, some 4.10s. I should have stuck to my pre-race plan of 4:15s. This is just another lesson that you learn as part of running a marathon. Stick to your pre-race plan. I didn't. Look, I'm not sure it really made any difference anyway. I was comfortable at that pace, but at around about 6 or 7k, I could just feel a little bit of tightness around the hip area. And look, it didn't get any worse. Got down to the turnaround at the 15, 16 kilometre mark. Still feeling okay. Got to 20k. It was getting tighter and tighter. At halfway, I had a decision to make. Halfway, not feeling great. The heart rate was starting to elevate. I was starting to work a little bit harder. I just wasn't able to stride out as much. And because I wasn't able to get into my natural gait, I was working harder. I got to about 23 kilometres and I just knew I was starting to struggle just a little bit to maintain that pace, and I just started to feel really uncomfortable. I knew then I had to ease back. If I continued on, it was just going to be carnage. I was going to crash and burn. 25k. I've lost touch with the 3-hour pacer. Look, if I continued on, there was a great chance that I was going to end up injuring myself. I got a lot of running coming up, guys, so I didn't want to jeopardize that. I pulled back. It was the right decision, and that's why I'm disappointed in that regard. From halfway on, I got to the next water stop and I said to myself, just walk on the drink stops because the hips are just tying up so badly. I'm going to walk the water stations from here on in, take 20 seconds, have a good drink, and just continue on. You know, I had a smile on my face when I passed people who were shouting out. Huge shout out to everyone too who did yell out the running duck out there on course. Really did appreciate it, guys. Thanks very much. So the last 17 or 18 kilometres was just pull the pace back, walk the water stations, and just get to the finish. And I did. There you go, 3:08:43. Now, I have had a few people ask me or ask the question about how come you chased a 3-hour marathon when you'd said that you had abandoned that. It was all about just testing myself. In the 2 weeks leading up to the Gold Coast Marathon, my running had come back after COVID. I felt good. I felt like I was in shape to, have a crack. In the back of my mind, I knew that sub 3 was not going to happen on that day. That's fine. But I just wanted to test the body and just see how far I got. I said in the pre-race video that I was looking around that 3:05, 3:10. I've run 3:08:43, pretty much bang in there. Yes, I did go out at 3-hour pace. Didn't turn out for me. Look, I'm not disappointed. The plan was always, when it was starting to get to be a bit of a struggle, that was the time to back off. I didn't want to ruin what's coming up in the future. That's why I changed. Like, I felt good leading into it. I had a good mini taper. Nothing was sort of suggesting to me, don't do it. So I went for it. And that's just the way I am with my running. I enjoy running, yes, but at the end of the day, I like to challenge myself a little bit. No regrets. My nutrition plan pretty much went out the window once the hip issues set in. I took a gel at 10k, I took another gel at about 19k, but after going through halfway, I thought, I don't need the gels anymore. I've backed right off. All right guys, I mentioned at the start of this video, 26-minute Boston qualifier. Pretty pleased. I think any time that you run a Boston Marathon qualifier, you've got to be pretty pleased with yourself. For me, Boston is the pinnacle of marathon running. I have run Boston before, back in 2014. It wasn't my greatest marathon and I did have some stomach issues in that event. As much as I would like to go back, I probably won't in 2023. I know it's 10 years since that terrible, terrible day where they had that bombing. Would love to go back next year, but I've looked at the accommodation prices and I just can't justify going to Boston and spending $600, $700, $800 a night on accommodation. I'd love to go back and run a more consistent marathon there, but I don't think it's going to happen. For some reason, between now and when entries open, I think it's in September, that circumstances change, then look, I will throw an entry in, but at this stage, like I said, I just can't justify spending that much on accommodation. You know, if you're looking at 5, 6 nights in Boston, paying $600, $700, $800, you do the math, guys. It's an expensive exercise. So never say never, but at this stage, it doesn't look like I'll go to Boston. Earlier in this video, guys, I did mention about all the support out there on the course. A lot of people shouting out, "Go running duck, go running duck." Really does give you a lift out there. I had a lot of friends cheering me on. My wife Trish was there as well. We had a few people come up and say g'day and how much they enjoy the channel. That was really special and it really meant a lot to me. And to meet Dean as well, who was one of the 3 hour 10 paces.
Neil, how you going, brother?
Is that Dean?
Going well, mate?
Yeah, battling, mate.
Battling?
Battling. Shout out to Dean, 310 pacer.
We had a great chat afterwards and had some photos taken. Really nice of Dean to make an effort to come up. And look, if you want to follow Dean on Strava, he's an absolute machine. He did the 5 kilometres, the half marathon and the marathon at the Gold Coast. He ran 15:58 or something like that for the 5K in between the half marathon and the marathon. Incredible effort. So shout out to you, Dean. Really looking forward to catching up with you at the Sunny Coast, the Sunshine Coast Marathon in August. And to everyone else who shouted out to, you know, go duck, thank you very much. It really does mean a lot to me. All right, the big question is the sub 3 still attainable? Well, I think it is, guys. Yeah, look, I've run 3:8:43. The body failed, yes. I'm going to take steps to rectify that now in future. I need to race more. I think that was pretty obvious to me that I need to get even more comfortable running at that sort of 4:12, 4:15 per kilometre pace. I haven't done anywhere near enough racing to, you know, put a little bit of pressure or a bit of stress on the body running at those faster paces. So that's something I'm going to do. The Sunshine Coast Half Marathon is coming up in the middle of August. I'm targeting that. I'm really going to set my sights on running a fast half marathon there between now and then. Hoping to do some fast park runs, hoping to go to the Brisbane Road Runners and do some faster events there as well. I think I've just got to let my running evolve a little bit more now. I had such a focus on the Ultra Trail Australia earlier in the year with that long, slow running, getting ready for a 100-kilometre event that it's just taken me a little while to adjust from the trails back onto the road. So lots more racing. Lots more marathon pace work I've got to do as well between now and the Melbourne Marathon. That's right, guys, I'm going to target the sub 3 at the Melbourne Marathon, October 2 or 3, I think it is. That's going to be the big one. Yes, I'm 56, getting older. It's getting a little bit harder to push the body, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think it's there, but I've just got to evolve my running a little bit and just tinker a little bit with some things between, well, now on the Sunshine Coast in August and now in the Melbourne Marathon in October. Shoe choice. If you watch some of the videos leading up to the Gold Coast Marathon, I was tossing up between the Asics Metaspeed Sky Plus and the New Balance Fuel Cell RC Elite 2s. The decision really came down to the weather on the day. Saturday for the half marathon, it was rainy, the roads were wet, it was slippery. Sunday, we could not have had a better morning for the Gold Coast Marathon. Conditions were calm, there was no rain, a little bit overcast. In the end, I had just enjoyed the couple of runs that I'd had in the Metaspeed Sky Plus from Asics. It just got the nod over the New Balance Fuel Cell RC Elite 2s. We'll just have to wait for another day. Really happy that I went with this shoe. The shoe performed fantastically. The only issue that I did have with the shoe was towards the end of the race, my feet did start to feel a little bit sore, and around this area here in the toe box, the last couple of kilometers, I think, my toes did just start to tingle a little bit. But I put that down to the fact that it was only my third run in the shoes, and I have to say that each time I've run in the shoe, my feet have felt better and better and better. This shoe really did meet my expectations. It didn't let me down. I was able to maintain the pace that I wanted early in the race, and I just felt really smooth in this shoe. I will do a more in-depth first impressions, first 50k, 100k impressions in this shoe. And finally, to you guys, thank you very much for watching these videos, all your comments on Strava, Instagram, all the comments to these videos, and especially all the positive and not so positive comments to the last video, that raw race vlog from the Gold Coast Marathon. That's what I love about this channel, and the fact that it is an open forum where we can all express our own views. That's what I want this channel to be all about. If you've got a view, express it down in the comments. I'm going to answer it one way or the other. I'm an open book, guys, so keep those comments coming. I will just give a shout out to Just an Old-Fashioned Runner. I know you have commented on my videos many times. This person did say that he was disappointed in my decision and that I pretty much got what I deserved at the Gold Coast Marathon. I take that on board. As I said, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I made my decision. I'm happy with what I decided to do, and I hope earlier in the video, guys, that I have explained why I chose to make that decision. Keep those comments coming. Keep watching these videos. There's lots more running adventures to come, guys. I hope that you really stick around and see where this running journey takes me. All right, guys, that's it for the race recap for the Gold Coast Marathon. Onwards and upwards now, plenty to work on. Sunshine Coast Marathon coming up, Melbourne Marathon coming up, and early next year it's the Tarawera 100-kilometre ultra trail marathon over there in New Zealand. So lots of running to come here on the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all fit, healthy, running strong, enjoying whatever you're doing. And remember, guys, run free, run happy, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you.